guys, it's Bree and welcome to my channel Just Breezy, where we upload weekly content to discuss societal concerns, spread some joy, and connect to others because like we say, life isn't always just breezy, but together it can be a little easier. So guys, I received a few requests to do sort of a follow-up to my anxiety series where I was sharing with all of you that I had decided to start Lexapro for my anxiety. And after hearing a few people say, well, where are you now? How is it working for you 6 months later? I figured why not sit down and revisit the topic and sort of let you all know how I'm doing now 6 months later. So today is July 1st and I've been on Lexapro since about Christmas time. And I have to tell you that for me, my personal experience is that Lexapro has been a game changer, a lifesaver, and something that I highly recommend you at least discussing with your physician if you're struggling with your mental health. Guys, I've made videos and I'm gonna leave the description down below and sharing how I was fearful of medication and what led to my anxiety and sort of how anxiety was really impeding on my quality of life and my family's quality of life. So I've been on Lexapro, like I said, for 6 months. I take it 1 time a day. And I have to tell you that I have always been someone who sort of worked up at a level that was this high. I've said before that when you're thinking about like a 1 to 10, my emotions were always at like an 8, especially when it came to feeling anxious. And what Lexapro has done for me is that it's brought my emotions down without making me feel emotionless or like a mommy zombie, but it's just sort of brought me down a bit where I have more room to work with. Now, it's really important to understand that when I say it's brought me down, I don't mean that I'm feeling down or that I'm feeling sluggish. It means that I'm not so amped up. I'm not so anxious. Now, listen, the flip side of this is that I'm still a human being with anxiety and going through quarantine with my kids every single day, and then turning on the news and just looking outside at how the world has changed so much with protests and then riots and violence and all of the unrest. Of course, my anxiety, like many of you, has definitely increased regardless of me being on medication. The difference is, again, that I am able to access coping mechanisms that in the past I really couldn't. I would give into the feelings of anxiety, of despair, and sometimes of depression, and I would just sort of say, okay, well, this is who I am and this is how I'm gonna feel, and I just pretty much accepted it. Something else that I have found has worked really well for me though over these past months is that I don't just look at my Lexapro as a magic pill and okay, this is the fix to everything. I still take responsibility for my mental health. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that every day before my husband leaves for work, or almost every day, I put my earbuds in and I go for a walk. I go for a power walk of a few miles around our neighborhood and I listen to really either funny or motivational podcasts that just sort of keep me company on my way and fill my head with inspiration or things that make me feel good. I go between power walking and biking. Biking is a newfound love for me and again makes me feel like I have this amazing outlet of exercise and it does wonders for my mental health. Doing those things helps me start the day sort of in a better mindset to deal with the kids fighting and to deal with the I'm bored and I'm hungry every 2 seconds that comes along with being home with your children. So again, I'm on medication, but I'm also taking responsibility for my mental health by including exercise into my routine, something that I haven't always done. Now, the third thing that I keep in mind, and I have to tell you, this is so incredibly important. When I started medication, my doctor said to me, do not stop once you start to feel better. And I thought, well, of course I wouldn't stop if I started to feel better because the reason I feel better is because of the medication. But now I understand why she said that. I have to tell you, there have been days where I'm like, I'm good. I got this in the bag. I don't need this little pill. But the truth is, I'm good. In part because of the work I've done, in part because of the coping mechanisms that I use, in part because I am exercising and it makes me feel really good. But I'm good because of the medication, because I was self-aware to realize that chemically something just wasn't balanced in my mind and in my body, and the medication helps to balance that. So on days when I'm feeling really good and I feel like I have my ducks all in a row and I'm a little bit ready to say I don't necessarily need this medication anymore, that's when I realize, wait a minute, don't do what the doctor told you not to do. So I highly, highly just suggest keeping that in your mind, because you are going to reach a point where your medication starts to make you feel good. It makes you feel like you have a handle on life, and there are definitely days where I don't feel that, because again, I'm human and I'm a mom and things drive me a little like on a daily basis. But you really want to make sure that you're making decisions that are going to be lasting for your mental health, and just quickly, taking out medication that's helping isn't really the way to do it. A final thought on where I'm at 6 months after Lexapro is that I haven't forgotten how incredibly important it is to reach out to others when you're just having a bad moment or a bad day or a bad couple of days. Now, listen, we all have those moments, whether you have anxiety or not. But oftentimes people with anxiety or mental health struggles, that anxiety can also lead to feelings of depression, and I've been there. I've absolutely been there. So again, I'm human, so I still have those days where things seem overwhelming to me. And I know that there are people that I can reach out to say, hey, do you have a few minutes? Just need to vent. And I'm not looking for magic answers from anyone. I let them know that right off the bat. I'm not looking for you to solve anything. I just need you to listen. And it works wonders. The thing is, though, you have to put sort of your pride in your pocket, and you have to get rid of this idea and this notion that people don't want to be there for you, or people have too much on their plate, because you would be there for somebody in a heartbeat if they needed you. So guys, again, 6 months after Lexapro, for me, it's still working. It's something that I highly suggest, again, at least having a conversation with your physician. If it's something you've been thinking about, there's no harm in asking questions to make an educated decision for yourself. And always, always reach out to people if you are struggling. All right, guys, thanks so much. Thank you for asking how I'm doing 6 months later and sort of prompting me to make this video. And as always, I appreciate your support, your liking, commenting, sharing of videos, and subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, please join the family, and we will chat again soon.